I'm Patrick Sharp. I'm a professor of liberal studies here at Cal State LA, and I'm an interdisciplinary scholar. I ended up in liberal studies, which is a pretty good place for me to have landed because I can fully do my work on the history of science, the rhetoric of science, and then also talk about how scientific narratives travel across disciplinary boundaries. I definitely grew up as a fan of everything science fiction and fantasy, Star Trek and Star Wars, because they have these hopeful visions of banding together diverse groups, building something together. And I was a comics guy. I was a Marvel comics guy. DC I did not like. But Marvel all the way. I really learned how to think critically about visual media and think critically about storytelling. I was trained in multi-ethnic American literatures, critical race studies, feminism, history of science. And so I thought, what is something that I can use using my expertise that will help explain a lot of the colonial histories of race and the colonial histories of storytelling about science and technology. I had to write Savage Perils to help myself understand the history of race and the frontier and the way we told stories about American identity. Fortunately, I was brought into liberal studies. My colleague Alejandra Mashevsky and I, we were able to build a curriculum that included critical race studies, included feminism, and that included a lot of the stuff that I'm interested, that she's interested in, into the core of the major. In other classes, your students are going to get the disciplinary straight line. And so in liberal studies, what we try to do is help our students think across the disciplines now. Okay, you've learned this thing in biology. Okay, how does this translate into this type of storytelling in film? Okay, how was this written about by feminists in the 1930s? And when they're writing science fiction, or when they're writing critiques historically, when they're trying to argue for the right to vote, how did they use Darwin's ideas, right? So it helps you sort of explain more horizontally how to make connections and walk students through that to, I think, enhance what they're learning in the disciplines. Because in liberal studies, we want them to know biology from biologists. We want them to know history from historians. But what we do in our classes is try to help them make connections across all of these things to make them better critical thinkers. EagleCon was started by Christopher Johnson and Rhonda Mitchell, who both worked in the University Student Union. I sort of took over and continued to work on it with my colleagues, with the University Student Union, with the Art Directors Guild. They came to campus, they loved the campus, they loved the students. So they've been bringing in exhibitions of art and panels of creatives and helping us reach out into the industry and bring professionals to campus. I'm a first-generation college student. And I really love teaching the Cal State LA population. It's a really great, productive place to work, where you can really see from the beginning of the semester to the end of the semester, or from the 2 or 4 years that they're here, you can really see transformation and change, right? You can really see growth and skills, growth and knowledge base, growth and confidence. I obviously have to thank my wife for just the support over the years. I always got to thank my mom and dad. They were always very supportive of everything I did. They didn't understand fully why I was going off to get a degree in English and a PhD in English, but it landed, so it means a lot. I've got a lot of colleagues who are really outstanding who have won this award in the past, and I'm glad to join their ranks.